They Always Run is an action platformer set in a sci-fi western-like world full of beautifully drawn and very atmospheric areas and simple but fun game mechanics. You play as Aiden, a mutant bounty hunter that has the ability to fight with 3 arms, who searches for valuable information about the whereabouts of the people that have done him wrong in the past. Along the way you come across many different criminals and allies that will make sure your bounty hunting will be a wild ride full of unforgettable moments. This game is very story driven, like the plot is nice, but it needs some time to get going. It's full of twists and turns, and the ending is rather sudden, but it could be a setup for a sequel. One thing that elevates the story is the gorgeous art design. All planets have this watercolor look, and it's just so beautiful to look at, especially when you take this long elevator up and you see the lively city. It also makes for some interesting combat and platform sections that have a nice variety in design. As a mutant bounty hunter, you are able to do a lot of cool fight moves, like counter attacks, throwing obstacles, and satisfying executions. There isn't sadly that much variety in the enemy design, but you do notice the difference between some of their fight styles. Some of them block all your attacks with a shield, and you can only stun them if you use your third arm. This arm is very powerful, but to use it consistently you will have to keep dodging and counter enemies' attacks, because otherwise your bar will not regen. There are moments where a lot of stuff can be on the screen, and it can cause a bit of input lag while fighting, but you are very nimble and dodge rolling is always a safe option. The gameplay is not always as smooth as it should be, because of the art style, and it's a bit noticeable during some tense platform sections where one wrong move could mean your death. Especially the jumping can feel a bit clunky, but it's totally playable, and only a minor issue I have with this game. I can understand that going for this art style will come with a few limitations, but it's so worth it if you just look at the visuals. They make sure the combat doesn't become stale, because of many upgrades you can buy at the shop. I really enjoyed using the grappling hook in combat, and using the shotgun during some moments was just hilarious. You can't gain money by finishing a level or a mission, but sometimes you have the option to take the easy route and just teleport the body to the authorities, or to deliver it yourself and get a greater reward. You also have the option to kill or knock certain bosses unconscious with your third arm, so you'll have to carry their body to your ship and drop it occasionally to defeat enemies. I'd like this addition of making it harder for yourself to get more money so you can unlock new upgrades faster. Your third arm is not only a good way to knock certain bosses unconscious, but it also has a scanning ability that lets you find hidden switches or lets you identify certain enemies that have a bounty on them. If you mark them, you will have the option to teleport their body for a nice amount of cash. I really liked this ability at first, but after a few times it became really repetitive and it slowed the game down, because the reward is always the same and the teleport animation is pretty long. So eventually I decided to just keep going without looking at the body being teleported. But it is optional, and it's a nice way of getting a bit more money, so you can fully upgrade your skill tree at the shop as fast as you can. One thing this game really lacks in are great boss fights. Only the smiley boss fight was memorable and creative. and the rest was just like dodge the same 3 attacks and hit them back or counter them. They all are still pretty difficult, because they do a lot of damage if they manage to hit you. And the same goes for the normal enemies as well, so you always have to be careful to not go auto attack mode and lose focus. Luckily there are also these escape or hunting someone down sequences, and they are a lot of fun, and despite the sometimes clunky platforming and delayed inputs, they are very well designed and nerve-wracking but awesome at the same time, so they really do the title of this game justice. The level design is very linear and easy to follow. Sometimes you have to backtrack a bit or do a tiny bit of exploring to reach some chests that can contain money, health upgrades or ammo. So it has a nice flow to it. Well, except for when you enter your ship or enter a story-based crowded area. Then your walking speed is really slow and a bit annoying, because it feels sluggish and really unnecessary. So yeah, They Always Run is not flawless, but it's a very unique game that takes you on a breathtaking journey with smooth animations, creative platform sections, and once again such a beautiful art style. The pros really outweigh the cons in this game, and in my opinion the visuals are already enough reason to give this game a try. So in general, They Always Run is a very stylish action platformer that lacks a bit of polish here and there, but besides that, this game is really one of a kind. The story is slow at the beginning, but becomes really interesting eventually. The combat is badass and requires a bit of focus and strategy. The platforming differs between being generic and being tense, but so much fun. And the world building and the set pieces are so well crafted that I simply can't ignore the passion and creativity that went into making them. This is why I highly recommend this game. I loved the presentation, and after finishing it, I just wanted to see more of Aiden's story and this beautiful world. I sure do hope they will make a sequel to this game, because it's really underrated and it deserves way more attention. So be ready to slice and dice your way through all these incredible set pieces and uncover the truth about Aiden's story.